Walk away. Tell me what I would have done before. Now I live whatever happened to me.
Alright, how's it going everybody? My name is Patrick, and today I'm in a 2006 Porsche Cayman S. So this car is actually my father's. He's owned this for over a year now. He definitely loves this thing a lot, and I'm here to tell you guys what it feels like to drive. So a little bit about this car. This is essentially a Boxster, but with a roof, and now what that does is it makes the car quite a lot stiffer. What that means is that it handles better. So powering this car is a 3.4 liter Boxster engine, which if you aren't familiar with a Boxster, they are very, very unique. The other car manufacturer that typically uses Boxsters is Subaru. Now stock, these cars make just under 300 horsepower. I think it's like 290, something like that, which doesn't sound like an insane amount, but this car is decently light. The thing is, the power isn't really the bee's knees with this car. What is amazing is the steering feel, the suspension, the way that it makes you feel when you drive it. It's outstanding. I don't know if I've been in a car that has as good of steering feel as this. Genuinely, it's amazing. Now, I drive a Miata, has pretty good steering feel. It's basically a go-kart. This is just simply better. It's more composed, and I think the weight is much, much better. So I think that's the strongest point of this car, is that it's very, very driver focused. Steering, all the things that you touch are just, they're meant for driving fast. One thing I don't actually like, and this is kind of, different for everybody, but I don't actually like the way that the shifter feels. It's a little bit mushy for me, and again, that is something that, everyone's different. Now it is a very, very precise gearbox. Very precise. You're not really going to miss gears very easily in this, but just the way that it feels, it's not for me. The suspension is, it's stiff. It is. This is a performance car. However, it's very, very composed, and I don't find that, it feels bad to drive or anything like that. You feel every single bump, but it's a very, very good feeling. Everything translates right into the steering wheel. As I was saying, it's like the best steering feel I've ever felt. So I'm just gonna roll onto it in second gear. It's definitely, it puts you back. It builds power too, which is, that's what I look for in a car. I want it to build. I want it to, as you go up in RPM, you just push back. So it's actually pretty quick. It sounds outstanding. Even stock, you hear quite a bit simply because this is a mid-engine car, so you're hearing everything behind you. It's a very unique sensation of just hearing engine noise, but you're expecting it to be up and it's back. So one thing I actually kind of wish is that the gears were a little bit shorter. I think it would really help with the torque. It would help you, get actually put back into the seat. And I don't know. I feel like they're a little bit, the gear ratios are a little bit long for a car like this. But, some people like shifting a lot and some don't. So it's definitely a case-by-case basis. So I was talking to my dad earlier, and he got this car for, I think it was like $26,000, and this has pretty low miles. It's just 41,000 miles, so very, very clean example. But he said that you could get these for like low 20s, which, I mean, that is a really, really fantastic deal. However, the issue is that, you know, these cars are quite expensive in terms of upkeep and maintenance. Just as an example, my dad went on a little road trip. It ended very, very shortly because the shifter cables actually broke and he lost basically all of his gears. And that repair cost, wait for it, $1,000 for metal cables. That's insane. So yes, this car is actually, you know, pretty cheap. You could get this or like a, I don't know, like a Camry or something like that, pre-owned Camry. But the difference is that when things go wrong in this car, it's gonna cost a lot. All right, there's a Corvette, some like Grand Sport thing. Give him a little action. So the interior is very nice. This is a Porsche, so all the materials you touch are mainly soft touch, which really just feels good. You can definitely tell that the interior in this is going to last for quite a long time. I mean, there's no rattles in this car. This is 2006. You know, 14 years later, there's literally like, there's no rattles at all. That's pretty nice. These seats are actually fantastic. I find that like maybe this was made for me, but my body type fits perfectly in this. The bolstering lines up exactly where I want it to, and oh my god, is it so bright out. So you do not have back seats. The 911 does, so that's worth noting. But in terms of like practicality, I was looking around the front trunk, and the actual trunk, and there's actually like a decent amount of space. I mean, I was pretty surprised. So like, yeah, this isn't a minivan. You're not going to be hauling a bunch of stuff around, but I mean, if you just need to throw a bunch of groceries in, you're good. It's actually kind of funny. So our family, we have a thing which we don't do this on purpose, but almost all of our cars are red. We don't try to do that at all. It's just how it works. But it's worth noting that this car in red, especially with like the tinted windows, looks absolutely amazing. It looks really, really good. The body lines are just like the classic sports car, and I think it looks outstanding. The throttle response, being naturally aspirated, it's actually pretty solid. You know, with turbo cars, there's a lot of spool up, but with this, it really is just, it's instant. And I'm not saying that there's a lot of torque, because there isn't. It's definitely not a very punchy car, but the actual engagement of the throttle is very just instant. Very, very good. So a couple things to look out for when you're buying this car. Piston scuffing is one of them, so definitely look that up. And also the intermediate shaft bearing tends to go out. I don't even know what that does, but apparently that's like a very large issue on this car, and that kind of results in the engine exploding essentially. And again, you know, it's a very, very expensive car, very expensive parts. So the tires are Pilot Super Sports, which are fantastic. Every single like car journalist just raves on about the Super Sports, and it's no exception here. Rev matching, pretty easy. I think you got to give it a lot of throttle to get it up, but you can feel it out pretty easily. All right, so let's give it a little rip. This thing would rip on a racetrack. Absolutely rip. The amount of confidence you have in the steering, again, I keep talking about the steering. There's a reason for that. The amount of confidence you have it's perfect. You feel so in control. Brakes are, they're definitely good. I mean, you stop. In terms of feel, you had to kind of dig into them a bit. But yeah, here's what I would say. If you have $30,000 to spend and you want a really, really fun car that's nice and it looks great, this is a good option. Now, yeah, if it breaks down for some odd reason, it's gonna hurt your wallet, but as long as you plan ahead for that, you know, you're in pretty good shape. So that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Dad, if you're watching this, thank you for letting me rip your car around. I'm sure it's not easy handing your keys over to a kid that you've driven with before. You know how I drive. But thank you. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I do a lot of work on my Miata, and I also review a good amount of cars. I'm going to try to get into that more. Anyway, thank you again for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.